Welcome into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters. We are coming to you from the Hooters Owl's Nest. Casey Phillips alongside Allie Marpet as usual. And today we are so honored and excited to be joined by none other than Tristan Wirfs. Tristan, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
I really like that for people listening on the radio in particular, they can't tell you really got dressed up for us. And I like this.
I did.
You walked in and your sleeve looks like a shark attacked it. This shirt looks like it has seen some things.
Yeah, it definitely has. This is my shirt from my rookie year. I've had it for 4 years now.
And you wear it like every day to practice?
Every day to practice, every day to lift.
Wild.
Dude, like, are you superstitious? Are you like?
I'm a little stitious.
I knew.
Come on, yeah.
That's a
it.
softball. You threw that one.
Well, I thought my first question would be a softball.
Yeah, we don't hit the hard-hitting ones right
Yeah.
away on here. So is that why you wear it all the time? Is it because of your little stitiousness?
Kinda, yeah. I've gotten new shirts and I've like worn them out to practice. I'm like, no, it's not the
Doesn't
same.
feel right.
It's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. There's enough gear that guys get that
Yeah,
like
we're not
it's
lacking in shirts.
It's like you get
100%. I have plenty. I mean, this is the coveted white long sleeve. You know what? Like,
yeah, it's a nice.
I have plenty of these, but this one, it's just, I don't know.
Well, the thing is, when they're worn in, they breathe a little bit better.
Yeah,
they're
they're perfect.
They just
Particularly
wear
when they have
better.
rips all over them. That's really where you get the breathing.
I get
use,
a
right?
nice draft through here.
Through the elbow. Did you have a shirt like this, Allie?
So I think that my shirt lasted, probably about 3-4 years. It was a cutoff, gray cutoff. But at a certain point, I don't know what it was, but there's a certain point where it's like this
It has to go.
It has to go, and you're starting to flirt with that point.
The collar's starting to
I
rip.
think that was a really nice way of Allie being like, you got to get rid of this shirt.
No, you do, dude. You do
said
what
you're
you're
flirting
comfortable
with
with.
it.
I mean, you're flirting with
I
it.
know the gray cutoff you have, the quarter sleeve, because I have caps.
Oh,
I
you
still
do?
have caps, yeah.
You took
What do you-
Alex Kappa's shirt when he left.
And I have his shorts, too. It was 65 on the leg.
What do you, Matt? Do you have a little shrine in the locker? What do you got with that?
It's dedicated to cap.
It's a couple candles, a picture.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. All right. Well, so also we got to talk about this game. First and foremost, we'll talk about the whole, like, you guys won an amazing, but most importantly, you ran with the football.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's a big deal, man.
That's so cool.
That was exciting.
What was it like?
One of the coolest things I've ever done. That's every lineman's dream.
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen, honestly, for an offensive lineman. That is a dream. What can you take? I need to know. Take us.
Describe
through
it all for Allie so he can like relive it later on.
Yeah, I want to live through you, dude.
I remember kind of just trailing the play, just like always, and then see the ball pop out, and I saw the defender in front of me try to dive on it, and he didn't get it. I was like, oh, well, here it is. And I was like, oh, I want to grab it. And then I took off. And I remember like coming out of my stumble and seeing like number 50 right, like where did he come from? Like he was like a bullet coming at me, and I tried getting the stiff arm up, and I was just too late.
Dude, that is awesome. Dude, wait, but at one point it's either like I dive on it or I scoop and score kind of
First
thing.
instinct was scoop and score. First thought.
Like, not even was there a thought?
No.
Maybe dive on it.
No, I didn't have that at all. I was just like, I saw the ball, I'm like,
Scoop and score.
I'm getting it.
What would coaches have said? Would they have said they would have preferred the dive on it, or were they like, you know what, Tristan's an athlete, he can jump out of a pool, give him a chance?
I did see Baker said that I should have dove on it. He's like he needs to get down. I had my sights on the end.
Just a fun killer.
How do you feel about your reaction to it?
I thought it was good.
How did you grade out? What was the grade sheet? What did
The
the
running
grade
back
sheet say?
grade
Was it a
sheet.
plus?
I got the first down.
I know that.
I got the first down. I didn't have a broken tackle. I went down. Can't let one guy tackle you.
Especially.
Can't let one guy tackle you in space.
So it's a plus minus.
Plus minus, I
plus
think.
minus.
There we go.
Yeah.
Did you have a touchdown dance prepared in your mind for this? Because this is important now that we know it's a possibility. If it happened once, this can happen again.
So we had like a pact in college with our O-line. If any of us scored, we are gonna punt it into the stands like as hard as we could.
Not a throw, a punt.
Yeah, we had to punt it. So I think that would have been my go-to like reactions because that's been ingrained. Like we all said we were gonna punt it if we ever scored. But then I was like, I thought about it after the fact. I said I wouldn't have got that. Like
then you wouldn't have had the ball.
touchdown in the NFL. Like
You gotta keep the ball.
I think.
So I don't think if I punted it, I would have got that back.
Probably not.
Probably
so this
not.
is a bit of a high risk, high reward situation.
Would have been cool.
Worth
been
it.
cool.
I think it's worth it for
Would've
going
been cool.
viral. I don't know.
Yeah, I could get another ball. No one would know.
Yeah, you could probably have a ball from the game. Yeah.
So I was thinking, I'm imagining now I've watched you run with this, and my vote is a 2-back backfield with you and Vita in a goal line package. This is what my brain wants to see. And I brought this up with Coach Bowles, and he was saying that neither one of you would be willing to be the one that had to block for it as compared to getting the one with the ball. This is the problem he sees.
Also, you're going to realize whoever's carrying the ball
It's going to hit you
right from behind.
Yeah.
So that's the big.
Ooh.
You're willing to take that.
I've gotten a bull rush from Vita, and it ain't fun. So I don't want to
Take
you
it.
know, full steam ahead, just like
From behind.
yeah, like just getting hit in the back, like that can't be. That can't.
That's not it.
That's not it.
But I would do that for Vita.
You would do it for him.
I would block for him.
Look at that. That's so nice of you.
Vita knows that. Vita knows how to block for him.
Team player, dude.
Come on.
Good for you.
Come on.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. We're talking to Tristan Wirfs. So, we know that you obviously qualify as a running back at this point, but how about we talk about the actual other running game here? Rashad, tell me a little bit about the game you saw from him and just how amazing it's been to watch him sort of grow into this role of where he's getting the run game going, but then also getting him out in space, a screen game. I mean, gets him that 43-yard touchdown. It's got to be pretty fun to be out there a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Rashad's been great out in space. And for us up front, just getting them holes and getting them open. We kind of started off a little slow in the run game. We had a couple explosive. He's keeping plays alive, like that one where I don't know, he ran like back across the field and ended up getting a first down. Like we know what he can do out in space. So just get him out there and letting him do his thing. Pretty much is going to be big for us going forward.
Dude, I love some of these screens that have been like Cody running downfield. It's awesome to see.
He hit like 17 miles an hour.
No, I was wondering what he hit.
He hit like 17.8 miles an hour.
He's never going to hit that again.
No.
Is that's got to be the fastest at any point?
This year, I think.
Yeah, for all the offensive linemen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what your fastest you've ever reached in a game is?
Oh, in a game, it's slow, especially first 3 years. We passed a lot, so like me and Tom were the bottom two one game. Tom was at like 11.6. I think I was at like 12.4.
To be fair, a tackle like for screens, tackles usually aren't as involved in screens, so they don't have the chance to really open it up.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not a Tristan thing; it's a scheme. We got to scheme him up so that you can get that 16, 17. What would you actually hit? You think?
Last year I hit 18.
Really?
No.
Okay.
You remember? Oh, you were here.
No.
Oh,
it's
man.
okay. Tell
sad.
me. It's okay. Tell me.
No,
what you
me
hit.
and Donnie just.
You raced?
Yeah, we raced at practice. I hit 18.
What'd he hit?
17.
Wow.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
18 is not bad.
I thought I was cooking.
How far did you? What was
we
the
ran?
distance?
We ran probably 50 yards. Remember we do TTO.
Yeah.
Go through the goal line, then ran down to Joe's Indy.
Okay, so you ran and it was 18.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty hard. That's pretty good.
Do you know what your fastest ever was, Alan?
Not anywhere close.
You got
to
out
that.
moving on some screens.
Yeah, but like even when an offensive.
You're like creeping down there.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime an offensive lineman's out in space, it's not actually their true
We ain't open it up.
We don't. You don't because like what happens?
I'm hearing a lot of excuses, is what I'm hearing.
As soon as the DB just gives you a little, and then
we can't stop on a dime like that. So we have to creep up there. What if he goes this way? What if he goes this way? You can't just flat out. Well, Trent Williams does it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how he does that.
I don't either.
That actually is confusing me. But Hainsey's done a nice job in space too.
I want to know what Hainsey's top speed is.
But he's been doing a nice job of balancing speed and creeping.
That's a good way to put it. You got to balance speed and creeping. That's a good way to put it.
How do you feel like the O-line performance overall was in this game?
I think we did okay. Definitely. I mean, there's always stuff to improve, but I think protection was good. We knew they had a good defensive line. Jeff Simmons, like Arden Key. We knew we had to stop those guys and give Baker time, and we had some big explosive plays. Downfield to Mike, so that was good.
Yeah, tell me about the Mike plays, and especially this touchdown where he dragged half these defenders in with him. Do you remember what you were seeing out there during that play?
I actually think my back was turned, and I saw it on the opposite jumbo. Well, I saw him catch the ball on the opposite jumbotron, and I remember turning around, and I just saw him fighting still. I'm like, oh my, he's gonna score. And then in my head, I'm like, well, what? I shouldn't have expected anything less. Like it's Mike Evans, like. And then I saw him say something. He's like, oh, I was angry from the previous when he had the drop right before or something. So I was like, yeah, he's in the end zone.
Yeah, once Mike Evans is angry,
it ain't fun.
It's not good. Yeah.
He's kind of a wild card. I was gonna say Mike needs to get angry all the time, but it's like, well, maybe. Just,
I think Saints games might say that's not exactly accurate.
Pick and choose your shots.
This was the perfect way to deploy the anger, is just dragging people into the end zone. That was good.
It's a healthy redirection of that anger.
Look at that. What a therapy response. I love that one. The healthy redirection. That's pretty funny. Incredible game for him. And how about for you guys just blocking for Baker, I'd love to hear what that's been like. I watched how he's out and moving around when he's throwing a mic, and he's like I want to imagine after blocking for Tom Brady for your career, and you knew exactly where he was going to be. You knew exactly where he was going to stand. And then now Baker being out there, they are two totally different guys back there.
Yes.
What has that been like for you now?
It's been interesting. Because with Tom, it was a love-hate. Because the love part, like, you knew where he was going to be all the time. You know, you knew he was going to be sitting at 7-8 yards. He wasn't going to move very much. And so you could kind of dictate where the rusher was going to go. Like, okay, like I can run up to 10 yards and it'll be fine. And with Bake, but at the same time, the bad part with that, Tom, is the defensive ends knew where he was going to be too. So that's why it's a love hate. But with Bake, you know, he's still going to be at 7-8 yards, but he's going to keep the play alive. So he might drift this way, he might drift this way. He's going to step up, and so it's just not having that internal clock, not having that, you know, that whistle in your head, and just trying to finish the play, you know, as long as you can. I think we had one in Buffalo, I think, where, like, you know, ran my guy all the way around at 11 yards, thinking I was good, and I kind of like let up, and Bake still had the ball. He's like figuring out a place to go, and then like I ran my guy all the way around and came back around. I was like, oh shit,
dude, that was wild. Both. I think
me and Luke,
it was like
we switched spots.
It was like a Venn diagram type thing.
Yeah,
it's like just like the most strangest thing. Yeah, because you feel like at that point you should be good.
You think the ball's out in your head. You're like, okay, it's got to be out. But then you see Bake still scrambling around. So
they're doing like the special teams hoop drills over there, just like running in circles.
Yeah,
that's pretty great.
But that's been, you know, it's been awesome because Bake's trying to keep plays alive. Like, he's a baller. That's what he does. So just knowing you can't have that clock in your head, and you gotta keep fighting till you hear the whistle.
I think some of my favorite just to watch as a casual fan, or like the empty protections, right? Where like something comes off, like there should be a hot, and somehow he still makes the person miss or something like that.
Dude, it's crazy. he did. I don't know. It's nuts how he does it. Like he had a guy in his face dirty, and he like ducked down and then spun around and like did a sidearm. You're like, what's that?
Yeah.
Just
what
like
is that?
we drew it up.
Just like we drew it up.
And then also, I know the O-line, you know, clearly messed up because someone was unblocked.
Yeah, it's always our fault. The safety blitz that we got to pick it up in empty protection.
I love this.
Block them all, dude.
I love
block all 6 with 5 guys.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters. We are coming to you from the Hooters Owl's Nest. Casey Phillips, Allie Marpet, joined by Tristan Wirfs. So I've actually been really excited, especially for the two of you together, to be talking about this for many reasons. I mean, we could have a whole Allie Tristan show, but especially with you moving over to the other side, and Allie and I have talked about this season, that now that he is getting his degree, wants to do counseling, therapy, all of this is very pro mental health. You came out and talked about the fact that you sought some mental health stuff when it came to your switch, and that you were very open about that. And we just talked about how much we loved that and thought that was really cool, and how many people look up to you guys and somehow forget that you're also human.
Yeah.
So tell me, for you, what was that process kind of like, and your decision upon trying to seek that help to make sure you were at the tip-top shape going into the season?
Yeah, I just had a lot of anxiety and nervousness, you know, going into that transition. And I was just playing the season through my, you know, in my head, you know, throughout the off season. I was like, we're kind of talking about like those voices in your head, like, you know, it's just, they were all like negative, like, oh, it's going to go this way, like this is going to happen. And being able to talk to Dr. Joe was nice, and kind of just get those negative thoughts out of your head and figure out ways to replace them with positive. Cause like if you're thinking about anything, I think for us as football players, like you're thinking about doing, you know, as an offensive line, a pass set, you know, it's so easy to picture yourself in your own head doing it wrong, but you have to really think and focus on like doing it right. And it's so weird. But being able to talk to Dr. Joe and just figure out strategies to kind of overcome that and, you know, kind of twist things into a positive in your head was huge. And, you know, it was nice being able to have him to talk to and just, you know, kind of express my feelings on being nervous and being anxious. And I feel like that's such a common feeling in our sport. You know, we're playing football at the highest possible level. Like it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be anxious. And yeah, it was just good to talk to him.
Dude, I think that's so huge. Like even just I think to say it to Casey's point earlier, like people need to hear that. Like there's so many people that struggle with it, and so for someone in your platform to be able to say it, but it's so true. There's so many guys that's like Saturday nights before a game, it's like, this is stressful. Like, there's so much pressure. There's so much. It feels like there's so much at stake.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course you're gonna feel like flustered and like not super comfortable, and especially because, not to say you were comfortable, but like you knew how to play the position. You knew how to do it on the right side.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like being uncomfortable is just a huge source of anxiety and stress. It's totally natural.
Yeah, and it's just, playing our sport, you always hear the saying, like, get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's 100% fine, because it is an uncomfortable sport. Like, we're getting graded and judged on every single thing we do. Like, guys are throwing up before games because of nervousness. Like, imagine going to work, every day, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're so nervous to go into work and you throw up. So it's just like that's what guys across the league go through, and at the same time, like, I understand that there's people going through very traumatic things and have very severe mental health issues, and what we do on a scale compared to those, like PTSD coming back from war, like stuff like that, like, it's small potatoes, but it's such a, I feel like, playing football is such a masculine thing. Like, it's almost frowned upon to express those feelings and express, what's going on in your head. And it's totally okay. Like, there's the severe side of it, and that, it's okay to go get help and everything, and just, regardless of where you're at.
That's awesome. I think that's really wonderful. You could not have said that better.
Yeah, like, dude, you said that like beautifully. Like, no, it's true. They're just reiterating what you said. I mean, there really are some struggles, and people need to see professionals for that. Mm-hmm. But the things that we go through or that you go through aren't, still worthy of seeking help. And it doesn't matter if someone has it, quote unquote, worse than you.
Yeah, it's not a comparison.
Exactly.
By any means. It's just, I wanted to talk to somebody about being nervous and anxious. I didn't want to let anyone down in the building. Like, they put a lot of trust in me to go do something that I hadn't done before.
Right.
And I was like, I was nervous about it, and that's okay. So yeah, it's not necessarily a comparison, but it's just
Also, was part of it for you just maybe what you feel like you're even expected to be in terms of a leader on this team, that it felt like, especially as this transition kind of happened, of where you lost some of the older guys on the team that had been such leaders of, you came in having Brady's, Gronk's, guys like that that had been in the league for so long, done it on such a high level. And you do still have your Mike Evans, your Levantes, Godwin's, guys like that. It's not like this team is without a lot of leaders, but did it feel to you like things were a little bit different this year in terms of who you were being asked to be, separate from just the position move, but your role in the locker room?
Yeah, 100%. That was another conversation I was having with myself, in the offseason. I'm like, they want me to, take this next step and try and be more of a leader on the team, and at the same time doing the position switch. And I was like, well, what if I am doing terrible? Like, how am I going to be able to, lead people if I'm not being able to execute my job? It was hard having those conversations. That's what was going on in my head all day, every day. I'm like, oh, what if I suck? And I'm, still trying to lead guys and be the guy people can lean on, but, I'm doing terrible. So, being able to talk to Dr. Joe and that's, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have a therapist. Allie's going to be a therapist. We're all pro mental health here.
Exactly.
We all love it. And also for you, now that you guys are just past the halfway point of the season, do you feel more comfortable in all of that now? Do you still deal with the same anxieties? Do you feel like it's changed at all for you now that we've seen that, like, you are killing it, for the record?
I think now it's just like normal anxiety.
Right.
You're
Right.
an expected amount of
which is funny.
what you'd expect going into
normal
game days.
Butterflies, jitters, going into game day and stuff. Once I kind of just through camp, I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna be okay. It's like, because you build it up so much in your head. I'm like, this is gonna be this is Mount Everest. I'm looking at moving to the left side. And then you go out. I think it was like the Ravens preseason game that I played, and I was like, the first snap, I was like, I was so nervous. I was literally like shaking, and then I got the first play out of the way. I was like, oh,
No.
I was like, I know how to play football. I was like,
this is it.
Yeah, I've done this before.
I've done it. I've been
One
here.
snap.
Yeah.
That's great. No, I get it. It makes complete sense.
I had a eerily similar experience at the Senior Bowl. Like for me, I was playing against a higher level competition.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So first rep, one-on-ones, going against a sack leader or whatever. I blocked him.
You hemmed him.
Yeah, I was fine. And I was like, oh, this is football.
It's okay.
I can do this.
Yeah.
But it was like, you just need that one.
You just need to get out of the way.
It's like, oh. So it's funny. We were talking to. I don't want to blow up a spot, but Wellesley played quarterback. Josh Wells played quarterback in high school, and he always needed that first play, that first hit to like get himself there. And so like they'd run like quarterback power, and he would just run the ball, get that out of the way, and then he could play the rest of the game.
I played point guard, and I always wanted us to lose the tip so that I could be on defense first, so the ball didn't immediately come to my hands like the very first thing. It was great because we weren't tall either, so that was like 90% of the time we were losing the tip, and I was like, whew, great, I can do this, and then we're fine. Didn't want cold right out the gate. So for you, look, now that you have been playing it for a little bit, was the transition as challenging as you thought, or was it like, what were the things about it that you're like, yeah, actually this was kind of tough to switch sides versus, you know what, yeah, it was just still football at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working on a lot of stuff. Just I have so many reps over on the right side, and it's like, throwing my left hand still. It's coming, but compared to what it was in camp to now, it's day and night. But I still have a long way to go compared to what it was on the right side. I still kind of get my weight shifting outside because that's on the right side I kept all my weight on my left leg, and now I don't want to do that. But so there's still so many little things. That I'm still working on, and that I'll always be working on. I think just regardless. But it wasn't what I made it out to be in my head. It was tough. There's still some days I'll go out to practice. I'm like, what am I doing? My set feels weird. I'm like, I can't take a set today, or it's just weird stuff. But it went okay.
Well, so I have to ask: do you have like any strengths that like are now you're better at on the left side? Because I know I'll let you think about it, but for me, like I was so like uneven, like my body. So like there's some stuff that's stronger on one side than the other. So like I knew that I was better at drive blocking on the left, right? Yeah. But like my inside hand was so much better. But like my deuces and dooms were like I had nothing.
That's exactly how I.
So there are some strengths you have then on the left.
Yeah. So. And especially with the new offense, it's like we've got like a mid-zone, like open side mid-zone. I just got to block the defensive end, and it's kind of torque him out. Like I can torque
with that inside
my
right.
Inside right hand. My right hand was so strong.
Good.
Yeah. But my deuces, like I got like because it was a new tick, so like coming here doing deuces that way was the first time I've done it, like the gallop. Yeah. And like I got so comfortable doing it, hitting this way, this way. And that's still like I feel so out of.
You don't have the same
I don't have
drive.
the same. Yeah, I don't have the same.
Okay. But that inside hand strong.
Yeah. So I've kind of been like if I get an inside move, like I'm okay because this one's here. Yeah. This one's here.
I got one hand that's gonna work how I want it to.
Yeah.
We're talking to Tristan Wirfs. You brought up the scheme, so tell me, for you guys with Coach Canales coming in, what did you like about his scheme specifically for you guys as offensive linemen?
I think just at first was the mid zone scheme. I think for me and Luke as tackles, like they were just like you got a wide 5 or 5 technique. They're like keep him out there. So that it's very I feel like it's very offensive line friendly. Because we have all this mid zone stuff, and then we have a lot of play actions that play right off of it. And it's just trying to make everything look the same to the defense, so they don't know whether and even on the backside of runs too. Making it all look the same, so they can't get a jump or they think a second down play that we're showing the same we're showing the same mid zone footwork, same mid zone technique coming at them, and then it's a play action. So I think that was really nice from the jump, just for us as an O-line.
And just for you, I mean, was there anything to the whole like you're moving positions and you had to learn a new scheme, or did you feel like those influenced each other at all, or how was that trying to kind of deal with both things at the same time?
It was kind of nice because then I didn't have like I don't even know how to say it, but it was like coming over the left side. I didn't have like, okay, this is how I did it on the right. It was like learning everything new. Like, okay, this footwork is what this footwork goes with this. This this technique goes with this. So it's not like I still do it. I still kind of revert back to the right. Like, okay, what did I do?
Yeah.
How did I do this on the right side? But for the most part, just learning a new offense, new scheme on the left, I felt was kind of nice for me. Just kind of getting like a clean slate almost.
That's great.
Yeah, I feel like that learning like beginner mindset, right? For all of that going into OTAs and then
that's what was nice. Like just because I found out pretty soon after the season, I was like I had all that time to just work on it, and then OTAs to really slow stuff down. and kind of get comfortable while learning the offense and everything. So that was nice.
How about the fact that, I mean, the whole offensive line did this big old shuffle. The fact that Hainsey's the only guy that was where he started last year, and even that wasn't necessarily what we thought was going to be the case to start the year. So how do you feel like you guys as a unit have handled this whole big new people in, new positions over here? Because we always talk about this is the most important group in terms of the chemistry and being able to read each other and know that person next to you and know what they're going to do. Where are you guys at now that we are kind of just past that half point way of the year compared to when you all just first kind of got here together?
I mean, I think we've come a long way. I mean, I know we're a very tight-knit group. I feel like most offensive line rooms are very close. But no, I always said it, all through training camp and everything, it's like, you just want to get as many reps as you can, playing next to the guys or with your starting five or whatever it is. But just as many reps as you can get to get as comfortable as you can get. You want to get to a point where you know what the other guy's thinking, passing off twists, passing off, combination block, whatever it is. But I think we're in a great spot. We're all comfortable with each other. We've all played with each other for a while now, so I think it's been good.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you're getting some reps with Stinney, right? Because with Matt being out, so
yeah, me and Stinney played next to each other on the right side all through the playoffs my rookie year. So like we played next to each other. We know what we know what to expect from each other, so that's been good.
And how's he done stepping into that role? I mean, man, it was amazing to watch him after coming off a pretty devastating injury and hadn't played in so long, just getting thrust into the middle of it mid-season. How's he handled it?
I think he's handled it great. Stinney's a great player. And like I said, we played next to each other before, in that playoff run in 2020. Seeing him, going as Jeffrey Simmons yesterday, he did great. So, I think Stinney's handled it incredible.
Dude, he's had some weeks, I feel like. So Buffalo, we were talking about having those, like we were talking about with Luke, those like 5 techniques that were 3 techniques that were like basically rushing. So that was ridiculous. So I don't know how you pass off games in that.
They were the 3 techniques were 5 techniques, and then they were running the games at like 5 yards. I'm like, this is
stay vertical. Like, what do you
That's what Stinney was saying. He's like, stay tight. I'm like, I can only stay tight for so long, dude. I said,
yeah, at some point you got to get out to the guy that's 30 yards away.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters. We are coming to you from the Hooters Owl's Nest. Casey Phillips, Allie Marpet, joined by Tristan Wirfs. We were just talking about this offensive line, and I know you and Luke have gotten to be pretty close and buddies. Tell me about watching him, speaking of, again, the moving positions, trying different things. What has it been like to watch him handle that this year and how different he seems as compared to last year when he was a rookie?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, he was here all offseason. We were training together all summer, hanging out. So, it was cool to see our relationship kind of grow from where it was last year to now. He's one of my best friends, and to see him having the success he's having, back at tackle where he played all over there in college. So, he just seems more comfortable, more confident, and just getting better as the year goes on. And it's just so cool to see that because I saw how much work he put in this summer and how bad he wants it and wants to be, how bad he wants to be great. So it's so cool to see.
Dude, what's it like for you being in? I don't know, it's the older guy in the room. Like,
it's weird.
So like, yeah, so there's that, but like you're the guy to show Luke kind of how to get it done, right? What's that like?
It's really weird 'cause I think I'm the second youngest on the team or in the O-line room.
Second, yeah. Oh wow.
So there's only one person. I think it's Luke Haggard is the only person younger than me.
Wow.
Wait, so Gedeke is older than you?
Yeah, Luke's older than me. Silas is older than me.
What? My brain is.
I'm pretty sure Cody's older than me.
This is wild.
I mean, like Mike Evans was younger than me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that happens.
It's weird. But no, it is different. Being the older guy of the room. I mean, we have Matt. Matt's in year 10.
Yeah.
But as far as for the tackles, just doing my best to help them out. Especially in training camp too, when we had a bigger room, like these rookies, and they're asking me, it's weird. They're like, oh, what do you do on this? Or like, I'm like,
just do it.
Just do it. I don't know.
It's good. Throw your hands.
Yeah, yeah. And it was really tough in camps because they're asking me these questions, and I'm like telling them, I'm like, okay, do this, or like this is what I do. I'm like, but don't watch me right now, because like I can do it. I can't do it right now. I'm learning how to do it right now. It's like, don't watch me, but listen to me.
This is how you're
do
supposed
as I say, not as I do.
This is how you're supposed to do it. I don't always do it that way, but
and I imagine so. Like, you are gifted physically in ways that a lot of people aren't, particularly on the offensive line, which also I'm sure means you can approach things in some ways that maybe some other people can't. Because I remember we had Luke on the show, and Luke was like, I will just watch his tape and be like, this is the worst. Like, how can he do this? Like, how is he able to? Like, he's almost like mad watching what you're able to do.
I can speak to this.
Yeah.
I was so upset with Tristan with his rookie year.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not. But like how good he was as a rookie.
You're like, you're not supposed to be this good this quick.
This is infuriating in the best way. But it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Like, I need you to struggle a little more.
Dude, make it look at it a little harder.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so funny because I felt the complete opposite. I felt like Shaq and JBP. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. That's funny.
That's amazing. But I mean, you were going against a couple of the best, as we knew.
Yeah.
So which now I think is great that you do this for our defense, because we had Yaya on last week, and he talked about what it's meant going against you in practice. That for him, that's kind of his welcome to the NFL moment, is like, holy crap, that's Tristan Wirfs I'm having to go against. And like,
So weird.
See, I knew you'd feel this way. We even talked about this at an event recently that I asked, what is it like for you that people are out there saying like, oh, I got to go against Tristan Wirfs? And you were like, I don't know if people saying that. People on your team are saying that about
He's still
you.
not gonna
He's still not going to
believe
believe me.
I don't.
I just feel like now.
I don't think Yaya said that. I said that about Yaya. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're doing third down and Yaya's out there. I'm like, oh.
God,
Yeah.
like, bring someone else in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yaya looks like an action figure.
That's so true.
So like, it's not fair.
It's so true, which is wild. So, speaking of that, he got a sack, he got a tackle for loss. Like, he's now just. I feel like we're starting to see him really come into his own. How quickly did you know he was a guy that could kind of produce at this level and get to this point?
Oh, I was in camp. I don't know. He gave me a bull rush, and I was like.
He's saying his long arms sometimes are pretty good.
Well, yeah.
Or is it
And I shouldn't have. I had a conversation with him in practice. We weren't doing one-on-ones last week. We were doing like top end of the finishing, and I was just telling him like, I'm like, oh, this is what's hard. This is what's hard for us as tackles. I'm like, this is what's hard. I'm telling him, I'm like, try this, and they're like, let's get one more rep. I go against Yaya. I'm like,
I just told him what to do.
Then he did it. I'm like,
do it on somebody else.
Like, no,
I just told you.
I'm like, I just told you what I don't like.
That's so messed up. There's a certain code.
No, I was just trying to help him too. So
See, this is why you're a good leader and a good teammate, and then it came back to
bite you.
I'm
saying Yaya needs to know the code.
Yes.
Rookies don't know the code. There's a code.
You do it on this person who didn't help you.
Exactly.
This is how you punish them for not helping you.
That's part of the code.
Yes, I think that makes complete sense. Another guy, rookie, Marquise Watts, got his NFL debut, got the quarterback hit that helped lead to the interception. Same thing, what has it been like seeing? I mean, I feel like you just get to go against some pretty fun guys out there at practice between him, and then you still, of course, have Shaq and you have Joe and all these guys. So for Marquise, what did you see in just the outside linebacker group in general? What have you seen this year?
Watsy, I'm glad he's getting some action now, because Watsy's good. He gives me and Luke fits, every week. And he's just, somebody called him he's just a little ball, like a muscle hamster. Like, he's just, he's so short, so explosive, so twitchy. But I was super excited to see him get in there and get some action. And all those, like Joe Tryon too. Like Joe, I've been going against Joe for a couple of years now, and it's for me. I like going against Joe just because it makes me better. He's so long, explosive too. All those guys are. I think we got a good OLB room, and it's nice getting to go against those guys in practice. Dude,
how is it? Like, I just contextualize it when you see someone out there like that is like no tape. And you just don't know how they're going to be able to rush you.
Yeah.
Like Watts didn't have much tape before that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they have no idea what's
this guy going to do.
It's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
How does this guy rush?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also think, just thinking about our defense, Antoine Winfield Jr. and Levante David, what is it like to watch what they're doing in games and in practice, just the level that they're playing and the ways that even just going against them in practice, do you feel like has elevated the offense?
Oh my gosh, those two guys. I mean, Levante's been doing it. What's he in year 12? Is that what year 12?
So yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to fact check, but that sounds right.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
We'll call it 12, and still balling. Like I don't know. It blows my mind. It blows my mind what he's still doing. I said it a couple weeks ago. I said they better have his gold jacket ready. They need to come get his measurements right now.
I love that quote. I thought that was great.
It's so. I mean,
get his measurements right now.
I mean, like I saw a picture of like the stats. Like compare. It was like him versus.
I've seen him to Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, there might have been that. I think another one was like Luke Kuechly.
Okay.
But just this, stats, you're like, oh my gosh, like he's right. They're neck and neck. So that's really cool to see. And then Antoine, I mean, coming in with Antoine, seeing him just ball for 4 years, at a very high level, has been so cool. And him also stepping up as a leader has been great to see. And but just the way Antoine works, you see it every day. Him flying around on the practice field, and then it translates over, on the game day. So seeing those two, it's awesome. Having them on our team.
We're talking to Tristan Wirfs. Also, I realize we have not yet gotten to talk about Cody Mauch very much. And I would love to hear, first of all, reactions when you saw who we were drafting, or when you first learned of him, saw that he was coming in here, saw the toothless wonder, saw the long red hair.
Doing what I know what you're doing.
Of course I'm doing this.
Setting this up.
I would love to hear your thoughts. I feel like you were just probably very excited. I was very excited.
There you go.
Is it has to do with something with Jensen and Co. too?
Oh,
look, I mean, wherever
if that's where your brain goes.
No, I was. So Cody knew my O-line coach in college, and he was at NDSU. So it's kind of a little connection, but no, I was excited. I had seen some clips of him on Twitter, like at the Senior Bowl, and he had his little belly out and everything, and his long red hair. Yeah.
Did he do rolled up at the Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
That's a bold
Cody
move.
did?
Cody Tudd, yeah.
That seems uncharacteristic.
I know. That's what I thought too. He had the gut out, and he had his big smile, no teeth at the Senior Bowl. So, no, I was excited. I knew Cody's a dog.
Does Cody go gut out here?
No.
Okay.
Just the Senior Bowl, apparently.
Just the Senior Bowl.
I think it was because it was cloudy out. He might get burnt out here. Well, he will get burnt.
That's probably what it is. It's probably just skin preservation.
Yeah, he don't like the sun.
Yeah, maybe Jensen and Co. told him ahead of time, like, hey, man, look.
Yeah. Belly stays. The shirt stays. Covers the belly.
Nobody wants that sunburn for sure. So, what have you seen of the way he's been able to progress and grow so far as a rookie?
Yeah, like for me, being offensive lineman, just seeing, watching him throw his hands, like it's awesome, and how dedicated he is to the little things. Like he was, Goody gave him a coaching point to do in practice to keep his hands tight. He's like, "Oh, clap your hands before you do something," or like during the play. And Cody we watched on tape. He went out and did it against the Saints. He clapped his hands.
No, he didn't.
I swear, in the game, he clapped his hands before the play. It was so fun. Or not before, like during the play.
In an actual game.
That's adorable.
Ball snapped, he comes up, clapped his hands to keep him tight. It was so cool.
I love that.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Wow. I've never really heard. I mean, I can see it in
just
practice.
Like a little, just a little
cue. When you work it in practice all week, it obviously shows up. I mean,
was Goody like, I didn't mean for you to do this in the game?
Yeah, that's what Goody. He's like, you don't have. He's like, it's just
like a cue.
Yeah, but no,
That's so
he's just
funny.
he just takes.
He's so coachable.
Yeah, literally.
He's a little too coachable.
Yeah,
just
dial it down a little bit.
Put yourself into it a little bit more.
But no, he's just so dedicated to his craft, and it's really cool to see.
You guys are really, I feel like, lucky from like a mindset like approach that Luke and Cody, as far as rookies.
Yeah,
I mean, those guys like really take it seriously and really like are detail oriented and do what they need to do to like get to the next, like from what I've been around them.
Yeah, seeing those two together like on a Saturday night in the hotel, like they're going through stuff together, talking about how they want to play these blocks, like just they're very detail oriented. It's cool to see.
That's awesome. And I know Hainsey, another guy that you're very close to. What have you seen from him in terms of the way he's sort of been thrust into this starting role these last 2 years? And then we forget that like center wasn't his thing, as we talk again about everybody moving positions, doing different things. So for him to be willing to try the center thing and then all of a sudden be having to follow in the steps of a guy like Jensen, I'm sure that's a situation where, again, the mental part of it of that there's a lot of challenges there for him. And what have you learned about how he's approached it and just what it's been like to watch him take on those challenges?
Yeah, I mean, well, Hainsey played like tackle at Notre Dame. He was like a left tackle at Notre Dame. Then, I think they knew he was going to play guard. And I think Hainsey was ready for anything. He was ready to play left guard, right guard, center, whatever happened. And then last year, being the center all year. And then this year, I think he was determined to win one of the whatever spot was open or whatever was the competition for. He was 100% ready to fight for it. And him being back at center, like he's kind of I feel so comfortable having him at center because he gets us all on the same page. Hainsey's so smart. He works so hard, and I love having him out there. But I think he takes that role very seriously, and then following in Jensen's footsteps too. Just not wanting there to be any drop off really, or just he wants to be good and he wants to put the work in. So it's great having him there.
Dude, I gotta ask. So I mean, I'm just thinking like Hainsey playing a bunch of different positions on the offensive line. All right, so and obviously I know you could play any position on offensive line if you wanted to, but outside, you're gonna say that. Outside of offensive line, what's your position?
Tight end.
Yeah.
Gotta be, right?
You tell me.
I think so.
I feel like you would crush it. Like you could honestly. So anywhere in the front seven.
Yep.
Would you could play inside, outside linebacker. You could probably play DN, D tackle, and tight end. What would you prefer to play?
That's a good one. I think tight end. I think I gotta stick with tight end
because you want.
He's now felt the football in his hand. He wants that feeling again.
You're going to be chasing that high. Yeah. No, you're going to be chasing that high the rest of your life. Yeah. You're going to be waiting for that ball to come out.
You're going to see me trailing the play.
He's going to punch the ball out. He's going to peanut punch it.
Dude, you're going to be the GPS trackers. Yeah. It's going to be 10 times what it is now because he's always going to be following the ball.
Yeah.
Wherever
I do miss playing defense. So I played both ways all through high school. I miss playing D-line. D-line was fun.
I feel like you would get it done.
Yep.
What's your pass rush move? You're all power.
I was big power. I was going against 160-pound lineman in Iowa.
Oh my gosh.
How would you think your game would be today? Yeah, I know that's just not fair.
That's just that should not be allowed. I think about the mothers of those poor guys going against him. It's not fair.
What did you say? My move today?
Yeah. What would you hit yourself with? You're playing D-line against yourself. What are you hitting yourself with? Speed to power? No.
I love speed to power.
Yeah. No. You're not doing that.
If I was. I feel like we got to say this off air. Like,
okay. Yeah, you want to give the trade secrets because you're thinking about what would
beat you.
What would beat you? I'm thinking about what you'd attack with.
Yeah.
You know?
If I was playing a 3-tech.
Let's say you're going against Luke, but you don't know Luke's. You're not trying to beat Luke. You're trying to play to your strengths.
I had, which I'm not. Reggie White. It was.
That big hump.
I could see.
I would toss kids in high school because you work upfield.
You get their weight. That's what Vita too. Get their weight going one way, and then just use their momentum against them.
Speaking of that, did you see the photo of Vita after his sack with the helmet all
to
the side,
awesome.
flexing? Yeah. I thought that was incredible. I was like, man, the photo of him and then the photo of you with the ball. I was like, this is like a priceless set of photos coming out of this game.
We need to put both of those at the on the towers. On the side of the stadium.
Vitas needs to go with the helmet. That'd be incredible.
That was incredible. All right, we have one more segment coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. It's time for our final segment here on Buccaneers Total Access. We are coming to you from the Hooters Owl's Nest. Casey Phillips, Ali Marpet, Tristan Wirfs. Right before this, we were talking about you tossing some kids in high school, and it sounds like you were plenty big. As a high schooler, because we've talked in several recent weeks between Allie, Yaya, Luke, all these people, they've all talked about their need to put on like a significant amount of weight at some point. I don't think you were that guy, right? Like you just seem like you've just always been giant.
Yeah, I was my senior football season. I was 325.
That is just.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you wrestled.
And that same year, I wrestled. I cut down to 285.
285. Yeah, I would have had to wrestle at 285.
So you had to go the opposite direction of everyone else we've talked to here with your cutting.
Yeah, I went 325, and then that November, my senior year, I cut down to 285, and then got back up to 325 in the spring.
I mean, we talk about like what,
it's like an 80-pound swing over like a couple months.
It was like 5 months.
Jeez.
That is actually insane.
It was November, December, January, February. March, April, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But then you had to get back up. So then you played your freshman year
at Iowa.
Yeah.
That was 325.
So you had to go. So we went 325.
Yeah.
285.
And then back up.
325. Yeah. Just the casual yo-yo right there.
That's insane. Was that hard for you, or are you just someone that like you can just?
Yeah, that was hard. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I mean, the first like 15 pounds was, came off. It's just water weight, and then it starts to get harder and hard. The last like it was 40 pounds. Like the last like 7 pounds was terrible because I was like, I spent my whole high school career, just trying to get bigger and bigger and stronger, eating whatever I could, and then to go into that where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't eat anything, and I'm gonna stay after, ride the bike in the sauna and all that stuff, and it was crazy.
What do you play at now?
We don't give away trade secrets.
Oh, that's a trade secret.
That's
Interesting.
a trade. We don't. I'll speak for Tristan.
Interesting.
We don't give away trade secrets.
I'm not 325 anymore. I'll say that.
Okay,
The guy,
that's more information than I would have given.
The guy on the broadcast yesterday, he's like, said I was 320.
If you say so.
You look.
Well, this is what I've always laughed at. We see like y'all's height and weight is listed on websites, and it's like that's what I was gonna say that I think is funny. Is like, when is that? Is it from the combine or something? Like, what is y'all's? Where does it?
I was 307 for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah. I never
gained or lost 1 pound.
306. I was 307 for
the entire time.
Yeah, mine says 320. I'm at 320 in 6 years.
You're just like, yeah, that's fine. That's
it looks good.
Yeah, why not?
But here's the thing: we also talk about what offensive linemen will look like after, what's their walking around weight. Tristan is.
I won't look like that.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
You're not gonna look like Allie. Yeah.
We do these DEXA scans that have your lean muscle mass. His lean he will never be to even we were debating. Cap and I were once debating what's your actual
just walking
not
around
football
weight.
And it's like you could be 290 and
Yeah, that's probably about what you'd be. Even maybe more? You think at 300?
I don't think I'd go under 300.
Wow.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, so looking ahead to this game against the 49ers, it's sad they don't have any defensive people for you to play against. They really just don't have any names, any big guys. Look at his face.
It's a good group. They got a good group.
Tell me your reaction when all of a sudden they traded for Chase Young too, and I'm sure it's just like, can we not? Can we not?
Yeah, they got a good front four.
Yeah.
But no, I like seeing that. I remember just getting the breaking news, ESPN. I was like,
couldn't happen
a few weeks later.
Yeah, let's bump that trade deadline back. But no, they do have a very good front four. I think, I put them, at the Eagles, Cowboys, Niners. I think they're up there. So, we know what's ahead of us. We know it's going to be a big game. We got to take the pressure off Baker. It's going to be a big job.
Do you get particularly excited to go against a team that you already know has some guys like that, or for you does every game kind of feel the same?
Every game kind of feels the same. Well,
I was watching this internal debate.
I don't know how to say it. It's every. I try and make every game feel the same, but it's you know who plays for who. Where guys are. You're like, oh, it's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
During your week of preparation, you know who you're going against, and you want to get those looks, so you kind of get dialed in to the guys that you're playing against.
Yeah.
So you're not disregarding the fact that you're going against an elite pass rusher. It's just that's part of the practice and part of the game prep. But as far as your intensity, no, you're. I know Tristan. He's always locked in. That's not an issue. It's just how you go about it. Sometimes changes is all.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, he's like that. What he said. What he said. Do you remember coming in and what it was like having Allie as one of the vets on the team? How was he as a vet, and how did he treat you as a rookie?
Can I answer?
No, you don't get to answer this.
I want to hear.
Okay.
I should probably make amends.
Yes.
This is the time to make amends. So let me give you a little bit of context.
Sounds like excuses, but sure, go for it. Context is what we'll call it.
The NFL has changed quite a bit in recent years. How guys are coming in, and I'm not. This is not. I'm not talking about you. Just the cultural context.
Sure.
In fact, I had some veterans in my locker room who thought pretty similarly. There's new guys coming in, not the same intentionality, whatever. And they had old guys in their rooms that were often
every generation does this.
Right,
yes. These young whippersnappers don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
And weren't always the kindest. So it's possible that because of Tristan's sheer ability to just hem dudes up as a rookie. My jealousy. I was like, dude, like someone's got to be mean to him, because he's got it too easy. He's hemming dudes up as a rookie. I mean, everybody's like, he's the best thing ever, which he was. So somebody had to be, try and take him down a peg.
Got it.
So I'm making amends.
Aw, look how nice this is. I'm so glad we got to have this moment here.
To
on the
be
show.
fair, the older guys
did it to you.
It's way worse.
Yeah, I didn't have it bad. You hated me a little bit. I think we made amends after my first year though. You just had to make sure I didn't get a big head.
Yeah, that was my biggest, not because he was never going to get a big head.
No. But you didn't know that at the time,
Right. That was.
Now
the
we know
piece.
Tristan's just the best and is
exactly.
always going to be his wonderful humble self.
He's a one of a kind.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
Very accurate. So you felt like maybe you related this a bit, but you already felt like you'd made amends before now.
Yeah. We talked about it.
But also I didn't. It's not like I hate. He thinks that I hated him. It was more like it was like I love you, and like this is the way to
the
be
annoying little brother that you're like, no.
This is actually how you do things.
I love that.
There's the story. I was just talking about this. The Razal Ghul. Whenever we went to O-line.
So Tristan, yeah, you got it.
This was very like big brother, little brother. We'd go out to like O-line dinner, and I'd like play with the knives, like the
steak knives, not butter knives.
The steak knives, just pretending. In Batman, he gets stabbed in like the lung, and I'd always like pretend to do that to Allie or just somebody. He'd be like, Tristan, knock it off. And it was very very big brother.
Like sometimes,
hit my hand.
Just little things. I think it was much more stern than the knock it off. I think there was
there's some editing for the radio
here. I think
here.
there was editing for the radio.
Well, you were playing with knives. I'm starting to see both of your sides right now.
You get it. Like some of it needed it, but for the most part, he was okay.
Well, I'm so glad that we've made amends now, and you guys are here and ready to do this because it made for a wonderful radio show. Tristan, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, and good luck against San Fran.
Thank you.
All right, thanks to all of you guys for listening. This has been Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio.